What's up YouTube, Dustin Yui here, back with another NHL 22 video. The Olympics have started, so in today's video we're going to take a look at the men's Canadian Olympic team and see if they can win the Stanley Cup. we're gonna see. They're in like a tough go versus actual NHL rosters, but I think they could be fairly competitive potentially. We'll see. Before we get started, I just wanted to throw a quick shout out to Cole. His channel is Tactics HD. He's actually the inspiration for this video, and he did something similar with the World Junior team. How long it would take the 2022 Canadian World Juniors to win the Cup, basically in the NHL. So we're doing something very similar, and yeah, if you guys haven't watched it already, go check it out. All right, so here is Team Canada's Olympic men's team. Basically, most of the players are actually in the game, so like Eric Stahl, Jason Demers. We had to make some players like Corbin Knight. There's a few players that play in the KHL that we had to add. Eric Odell, Alex Grant, Matt Robinson, Jack McBain. I think, yeah, Owen Power, Jordan Wheel, and I think that is it, I believe. Yeah, I think that's it. And then, sorry, just for goalies, we had to create Edward Pasquale or Pasquale. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then Devin Levy. So we have a few like prospecty players that potentially could blow up in this franchise, but we have some guys that are aging. So I actually set aside some rules for this franchise. So like we're only going to do max 10 years. We're going to just see if at any point we can win the Stanley Cup within that 10-year frame. Some players are obviously a bit older, like we got Eric Stahl, Daniel Winnick, Adam Cracknell. They're all 36. So basically we can only replace players. We can't like go out and do trades or anything, or sign free agents to like make our team better. So if anyone retires, then we can replace them via the draft or via the free agency. In terms of the free agent players, they actually have to be a similar overall into what we lost. So if Eric Stahl retired after the first year, we would have to find another center, 82 overall basically. He can be any age, and then he also has to be Canadian. And then for the drafted players, we can only draft Canadian-born prospects. So if we somehow get Shane Wright or Connor Bedard, that'd be huge, but again, we'd have to wait until one of these guys actually retire. And I think, yeah, that's about it. If you guys are curious about the jerseys and what I did for them, so here's the regular red jersey, here is the white jersey, and here is the black jersey. I tried to get them as close as possible. Obviously we couldn't have like a black leaf with a red outline, so I kind of just went with the solid red. I tried gray, it didn't really look that great. Alright, so we're gonna have to go with the classic. I thought that we could do the 33rd team and like actually just replace, sorry, not replace, just like not do a draft, but you apparently have to do a draft, which kind of sucks. So we're going to replace the Arizona Coyotes. We're a 73 overall team right now. It's perfect. And it's going to be a tough division, but I think it should be okay. So hopefully we do okay. If anything, we'll get good draft picks and, you know, build through that. So we're going to go fairly basic. We're going to play with the salary cap. We're going to have computer trades, and we're going to leave the player morale on so we can try and get some team chemistry potentially to boost our team a little bit. Everything else we're just going to keep off. For the first 2 years, we're going to make draft class quality low and generated prospect quality low. So hopefully we get some legit prospects happening in the drafts. And then we're going to turn injuries off. And just for the sake of it, we're going to put trade difficulty to hard. And sorry, one last thing, we're going to make the franchise mode length to 10 years. All right, let's give her. So I went through and made all of the players' numbers exactly what they are in the Olympics. I made Eric Stahl the captain, Corbin Knight is the assistant, and then we are also going to assign, I think Demir's the next best. So we're going to make Demir another assistant as well. We got our 3 goalies. A couple of players got put into like our in the system, but that is okay. All right, so here's the lineups. Since Team Canada played its first game, we do have all of the lines that they would be on. The only exception is that I traded out Adam Tambellini for Jack McBain because he was like the extra forward. And I did this purely because of overalls, because you can dress an extra forward and an extra defenseman. So we just took them out. And then on defense, I traded out Max Noro for Alex Grant, because Alex Grant was the extra player, but he's actually like decent. So we're going to keep him on the team here. And otherwise, yeah, that's it. We're basically ready to go for our first year. Here's the goalies if you want to look: Pasquale and Tompkins. The extra players I am going to put in the AHL, so they still play. They just will not be. They just won't be on the team here. Okay, so now that we have the lines, let's sim through the first season and see how we do. Okay, so our first season is finished with the Canadian Olympic men's team. We went 30, 41, and 11. We finished with 71 points. We actually did not finish last, though. The Islanders finished with 55 points somehow. Absolutely crazy. Let's see how our stats look. All right, so remember, we used the authentic like lines from the first game against Germany. So we got Josh Hosang with 51 points, Eric Stahl with 50, Corbin Knight with 47, Mason McTavish with 40, Jordan Wheel with 35, Jason Demers with 30, McBain with 28, Grant with 28, Owen Power had 24. Look at all these negatives though. Oof. So many minuses. In goal, Pasquale went 23, 32, 11, had 2 shutouts, a 9-15, and a 301 goals against. That was actually decent. Tompkins went 7, 9, and 0. With a one shutout and a 9-13 and a 2-8-7. So like, our goalies actually weren't terrible. That's crazy. In terms of the team stats, we had a goals for of 2.12, goals against of 3.15. So obviously we just got outscored a lot. Power play of 9.6, a PK of, wow, what? Our PK was 85.9? Oh my god, we were the second best penalty kill to the Nashville Predators in our division. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. I mean, our time shorthanded was a little bit lower than every other team. I guess we just didn't take penalties, but like, that's crazy. Wow. Alright, here's the awards for the season. The Stanley Cup champions were the Winnipeg Jets. The President's Trophy winner were the Edmonton Oilers. The Jets played the Bruins in the Stanley Cup final. For individual awards, Patrick Kane won the Art Ross. Patrick Kane won the Maurice Richard. He won the Ted Lindsay. The Frank Selke went to Kopitar. Jack Adams went to Nashville. Bill Masterton to Edler. William M. Jennings to Thatcher Demko. Vezina to Thatcher Demko. Conn Smythe to Nikolai Ehlers. Let's go. Calder to Trevor Zegras. Lady Bing to Patrick Kane. And James Norris to Victor Hedman. And Hart Trophy to Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane just like absolutely cleaned up. Woo. Ooh, alright, so here's the here's the draft lottery results. We actually bumped up from second to first, so we took the first spot. The Islanders got bumped back, so we should get Shane Wright, which would be huge. Of course, we can't use him until potentially, I guess, Eric Stahl retires or one of the 36-year-olds retires, so we basically gotta wait, but that's okay. Wow, and so we did actually have a few players retire. So Adam Cracknell retired. I didn't actually expect that to happen. And Matt Robinson on defense. So we still have players that are within our roster from the Team Canada roster that we do have to sub in for now. Once we start running out of players, that's when we can actually sub in some of our either free agent signings that we need to replace players with that are similar, or that's when we can start using some Canadian drafted players. Alright, so I just kind of simmed through the draft, so it was all randomized. We got Shane Wright, number 1, which is perfect. We got a lot of draft picks, though, so that's good. Alright, so some of our players have improved. This is our year 2 roster. We got, we can do some new things with the lines, which is great. So we got Kent Johnson, Eric Stahl, Josh Hosang. So both Stahl, Hosang, Johnson have all gotten better. McTavish jumped up like 7 overall. It's playing with Jack McBain and Corbin Knight. Then we got Winnick, Odell, and Wheel. And then Street, Desjardins, and Tambellini. On defense, Owen Power jumped up to an 80. So we got Owen Power and Jason Demers, Weatherspoon and Grant, Barbario and Noro. And Edward Pasquale actually jumped up to an 80 for us, which is great. So we got Pasquale and Tompkins. Tompkins also improved. So hopefully we have a better season this year. But yeah, I'm actually... our team's actually shaping up. We did have a few players retire, which is fine. We did get Shane Wright. I did make a mistake. I didn't draft. I simmed right through the draft. So my initial rule was that we were going to only draft Canadian players, but I think we're just going to play only Canadian drafted players. We'll just change that. Let's do the season and we'll see how we do. Okay, so our season 2 is finished. We finished 23, 52, and 7. We actually finished worse than we finished last year. We finished with 53 points, which means we potentially could get Connor Bedard first overall, which would be okay for later in the franchise. Let's see how the stats look. Alright, so Mason McTavish had 54 points, led the team. Corbin Knight had 52. Jack McBain had 48. Eric Stahl had 47. Ho-Sang had 43. Kent Johnson had 43. Like, there's actually, like, some of these guys are actually doing pretty good, which is crazy. Owen Power had 37. Yeah, I think we just get outscored really badly. And I also wonder if our goalies just did a lot poorer this year. Let's take a look. Alright, so Pasquale went 20, 40, and 6 OTLs with 3 shutouts. Tompkins went 3 and 13 with 1 OTL, 1 shutout. Yeah, their stats were a lot worse this year. Alright, so here's the draft lottery results. The Islanders went from 8th to 1st, which is BS. Nashville went from 4 to 2, and we bumped back from 1st to 3rd. So I don't think we're getting Connor Bedard, unfortunately, unless somehow the low draft pool ended up creating some really good players and we somehow fall to him. But oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so we actually had 2 retired forwards. So we had David Desjardins and we had Daniel Winnick, which means we are now in need of at least 1 player. Landon Ferraro is still in the AHL. So he is eligible to come up, obviously. Which means I think we would probably replace Daniel Winnick, which means we can possibly put like Shane Wright into our lineup because he's a Canadian drafted player. Andrew Ladd is just in the AHL, so that's fine. Alright, so with our first pick, I actually picked the first player just to make sure that we got a Canadian. So it was Braden Yeager. And then these are the rest of our players. He was a 76 medium elite forward. So he's like a center / right wing. And yeah, he could almost come into our lineup right away, which is kind of great. Okay, here we are, season 3. So since we have run out of forwards, we have signed Shane Wright, and he is on the first line with Corbin Knight, the Knight and Wright line with Jack McBain. These guys have actually developed, like, surprisingly, especially Corbin Knight. He's 33 years old. He like, when I created him, I made him like an 81 because, like, he's a pretty good KHL player. Normally when I'm making players, if they're like a point a game in the NHL, I usually give them like an 85, 84, 85. So I was like, KHL, like, you know, it's not as equal, so I made him an 81 because he's like still a good player. But yeah, at 33, he's like bumped up from an 81 to an 84, which is crazy. McTavish, Johnson, and Ho-Sang. So this, like, our top 6 is actually turning into something here. Odell, Stahl, and Wheel. So, like, Eric Stahl's still pretty good at 38, which is insane. Tambellini, Street, and Ferraro. So our bottom 6 is, like, kind of weak. Our third line's not terrible. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, and then chemistry-wise, whatever. So our top 6 also has a +1, which is great. And on defense, we got Owen Power, who is now an 85. So last year he was an 80. He started off as like a 75. So he's developed pretty good. Jason Demir hasn't gotten worse or better. So he's just kind of sat at 81, which is great. Weatherspoon and Grant and Barbario and Ellis. Goalie-wise, we might be a little bit in trouble. Pasquale went from an 80 last year to a 77, so he's gotten worse again. He started as a 77, though, so... and Devin Levi is actually now our backup. He is... yeah, he's improved quite greatly for us. So that is the Season 3 lineup. Offensively, I think we're okay. We're not terrible. I mean, bottom 6 is a little weak. Like our fourth line is like pretty bad. Our third line's it's not terrible. Our defense is like, again, our bottom pair is not great. This Weatherspoon and Grant wouldn't be bad as like a third pairing, but so we are a little bit weak on defense and goaltending. But yeah, let's see how things go. All right, the end of season 3. So we finished 29, 46, and 7 with 65 points. Once again we weren't the last though. The Islanders finished with 43 points. I don't know if this team could actually win the Stanley Cup. I'm gonna be honest right now. But let's look at the points. All right, so here's our point getters. Shane Wright led our team with 70 points. Whew, what a savior. Jack McBain had 59, Corbin Knight 55, McTavish 53, Hosang 53, Johnson with 53, Stahl with 45. It's not like we're not putting up points. We definitely are. I think it's defensively we're just not good enough. Like our defense is super weak, our goaltending's super weak. So Owen Power had 39, which is pretty great. Yeah, I think defensively in like our bottom 6 is just not good enough. Goaltending wise, Pasquale played 70 games, 27, 37, 5 OTLs, 3 shutouts, 908 and a 303 goals against. Devin Levi went 2, 9, and 2 with 1 shutout, a 9-10 and a 2.91. So much better stats than last year for sure, but still not great. All right, here are the draft lottery results. So Pittsburgh went from 6th to 1st, Carolina went from 12th to 2nd. And that bumped the Islanders back from 1st to 3rd. It bumped us from 2 to 4. And yeah, that's not good for us. All right, so retired players. We had Alex Grant and Maxim Noreau. So Noreau was playing in the AHL, so that doesn't really affect us. But he was our extra defenseman now because we lost Matt Robinson. So we literally don't have any extra defensemen because Alex Grant also retired, which means we need another defenseman. He finished as a 74. So we need to see if there's any players that we randomly drafted that are at least a 74 in the last two. I guess we also have this season. So maybe I'll see about drafting a defenseman that's Canadian, and we'll put him in the lineup. Otherwise, we'll have to see what we have, or we'll have to look at free agency. All right, so I drafted the first best Canadian, which actually was the 4th overall. He was a power forward. And here is our first round pick. So his name's Skylar Ricci. He was a medium elite 82 overall power forward. Pretty crazy. So, I mean, that's a good pick for us. This is last year's pick, Braden Yeager. He was our first round 3rd overall. He's a two-way forward, and he's a medium elite as well. All right, so here's our lineup for season 4. Unfortunately, the Arizona Coyotes have Dylan Genther, who's now a 90, so that kind of sucks. So we got Johnson, Wright, Knight, McTavish, McBain, Hosang. So most of our forwards, I think, are still intact. Odell, Stahl, Wheel, Tambellini, Street, and Ferraro. The only one that we're out is Shane Wright, obviously, because we don't have any forwards. So we drafted him, which is great. Defensively, Owen Power and Demers. Demers is now a 79. Weatherspoon and so Charlie DeRoche, we actually drafted in 2022 in the 5th round. So because we did draft him, we can use him, and he is Canadian, which is fantastic. And then we got Mark Barberio and Morgan Ellis. In net, Edward Pasquale is now a 78, so he got one better. Offensively, once again, like, we're pretty solid up front. Even like, again, our 4th line is not great. 3rd line's not terrible. It's not great either, but defensively we are pretty weak. So I think the only way for us to win is basically draft and develop. Yeah. The defenseman we had to replace was a 74, so this was the best we had, was Charlie DeRoche. I could sign a 74 defenseman, but it's all good. We're not going to worry about it. All right, let's do season 4. All right, season 4 is finished. We finished 32, 44, and 6. Finished with 70 points. Once again, we weren't dead last. The Kraken and the Canadians were actually a little bit worse than us, and the Flyers tied us for I guess 3rd last in the league. Alright, for stats, Jack McBain finished with 68 points, Ho-Sang with 64, McTavish with 63, Shane Wright dropped off a little bit. Owen Power had 51, Johnson had 47, Stahl had 45, and a whole lot of minuses down below, which is obviously kind of what our demise is. Goaltending, Pasquale finished 25, 35, and 4 with 3 shutouts, a 902 and a 321 goals against. Still not bad. Devin Levi finished 7, 10, and 2 with not very good stats. And here are the draft lottery results. So Philly went from 4th to 1st, which bumped us from 3rd to 4th. Alright, so a bunch of retired players. Captain Eric Stahl hung it up. He is a 78 overall center. Jason Demir, 78. Right defenseman, Barbario. A left defense, right defense, 72 overall. Eric Odell, a 69, nice, center. And Ben Street, a 66, center, left wing. So we can replace all of these players with either prospects that we've drafted that are Canadian, or we can sign free agents that are the same overall. Yeah, I think we definitely have a couple prospects. I don't know about defensemen though. The good thing though is that, like, they can improve, where these guys were declining because they were so old already. Some of them are like only 35 too, which is crazy. They must have just got fed up. But yeah, not bad. So that actually kind of helps us in a way. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, so here's our picks. Our first overall was a defenseman. I think he was a 78. We'll take a look at him in a sec here. So our first overall pick, which was first round pick, sorry, 4th overall, was Pat Scuderi. He's a 79 overall offensive defenseman, medium elite, so he'll fit right into our lineup right away, which is fantastic. We also have that Skylar Ritchie from last year that we can sign and get into our lineup as well. Lastly, we also drafted this kid in 2023, Braden Yeager, so we can also put him into the lineup. Okay, we're here for Season 5. Here are the lineups. We got Johnson, Wright, and Skylar Ritchie, who we drafted in the first round in 2024, and he is indeed Canadian. McBain, McTavish, and Ho-Sang. And then I literally did not find a replacement that we've drafted for Street, so we had to go to free agency. We signed Stuart Wyman, who's a top 6 forward sniper. He was drafted in 2023, and he is Canadian. I figured I'd go with a prospect, just in case, like, he might develop. And then Yeager is hopping in because we've lost Stahl and Odell and Street, so he was one of our draft picks, who is Canadian. And then we got Corbin Knight, and then we got Wheel, Tambellini, and Ferraro on the 4th line. Our top 6 is just nasty. Our top 9 is actually not bad, and our 4th line's not terrible. It could be better, but defensively we have Owen Power and Pat Scuderi, who is replacing Demirs. He's a 79. We drafted him in the first round of this last draft, and he is Canadian. Then we got Weatherspoon still with Maverick Lamoureux, who we drafted 2022 3rd round, and is Canadian. So I actually started doing the drafts just to make sure that we have a bunch of Canadian prospects. The first 2 we kind of simmed through, so we have some decent players, but they're actually not Canadian, which sucks. Morgan Ellis, and then Charlie DeRoche, who we drafted in 2022 in the random draft and is Canadian. And then goalie-wise, Devin Levi is now a 78, and Pasquale is a 75. So hopefully he has better luck. Yeah, I mean, offensively, we're pretty sick, so let's see if that helps, and let's see if we can win a Stanley Cup with some remnants of the Canadian Olympic team still. All right, wow, we're at the end of Season 5, so 2025, and we actually made the playoffs. We had 91 points. We went 42, 33, and 7. Let's look at our stats. So Kent Johnson led the team with 75 points. Mason McTavish had 74. Wright had 73. Owen Power had 67. Wow. McBain had 66. Knight had 56. Ho-Sang 39. Ricci. Yeah, wow. I'm super impressed. I didn't think we'd be able to do this, but we did. Goalie-wise, Devin Levi went 32-28, had 6 OTLs, 3 shutouts, a 908, and a 298 goals against. Pasquale went 10-5-1. That's actually solid. 1 shutout, 899, and 326. Wow. Okay, so we actually made the playoffs. This is crazy. I'm curious to see how the playoffs will go. So I'm gonna sim the playoffs and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we got in as the wild card team, obviously, so we're taking on the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round. Alright, so we're going to sim through the first 3. Let's see how we do against the Blackhawks. Oh, wow. 3-0 so far. Come on, boys. Oh, no. Oh, no, they're going to go to Game 7. Oh boy, let's sim through Game 7, see how we do. Alright, Game 7, let's see how we do here. Oh my gosh, we won. We win the first round in Game 7. Insane, okay. Who do we play next? Let's see. Alright, so we're taking on the Predators in round 2. Alright, round 2 against the Predators. Let's see how we do here. Alright. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So we beat the Predators in 6. Wow. Okay. Nice. Looking good so far. We're taking on the Avs in the conference finals here. Alright, so us taking on the Avs, and then we got Tampa and Boston on the other side there. I haven't shown points yet, but here's what they look like. McTavish has 14, McBain has 14, and Knight has 12 for us. Goalie-wise is 8-5-0 with 1 shutout, and he's got pretty good stats, a 919 save percentage and 2.70 goals against. Alright, can we beat the Avalanche? This will be a tough one. Okay, so far so good. Oh my gosh. Ooh, come on, boys. One more game. Oh my god! Oh my god, no way! Oh, we beat the Avs in 6. We're going to the finals and take on the Lightning. Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go. So, Team Canada Olympic men's team against the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Stanley Cup in 2026. Here are our stats so far. McTavish has 17 and 19. Johnson with 16. Wright has 16. And McBain with 16. In net, Levi has gone 11, 7, and 1 shutout, a 9-2-1, and a 2-7-0 goals against. He must have got pulled because Pasquale played 15 minutes and got 6 shots, 6 saves. Alright, can we beat the Tampa Bay Lightning? Let's sim the first 3 games. Ooh, okay, so we're down 2-1. Ooh, down 3-1. Ooh, we won that one. Okay, let's see if we can come back here. Oh, we forced a Game 7. Alright, we got Game 7 here. Let's sim through and see what happens. Alright, Game 7. Team Canada Olympic men's team versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Can we win the Stanley Cup in 2026? This is what, year 5? Season 5? Alright, Mason McTavish on the power play, 1-0. Mason McTavish again, 2-0. Oh, Kucherov makes it 2-1. Whoa, Corbin Knight makes it 3-1. Kucherov makes it 3-2. This first period's absolutely crazy. It's madness. We just gotta shoot the puck, apparently. 3 goals on 4 shots to start the game off. Wow, okay. Crazy first period. Team Canada up 3-2. Ooh, okay, tie game. Come on, Canada. Let's go. Let's go. Back in it. We're giving up a lot of power plays right now. We haven't got a shot in a while. Come on. Oh my gosh. Canada, let's go. Oh man, we're getting outshot so badly. Come on, Team Canada. Get back in it. Power play. Ah. Come on, come on. Oh, Corbin Knight ties it. Come on, get ahead, get ahead, get ahead. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're going to end up a tie game and go into OT. Come on, Canada. Okay, we're going to OT. Here we go. OT Game 7. Team Canada versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Still like a good handful, almost half, I guess, of the original Team Canada members. We got a few, obviously, like Canadian picks that we've added, but... Alright, Johnson to right, to Scuderi, off the post! Oh my gosh! That would have been massive. Oh, Shane Wright, come on, baby. Come on, Shane Wright! Oh, what are you doing? Pass it! Oh, shoot the puck! Oh my goodness. Here we go. Scuderi. Oh, Owen Power to Johnson! There it is! Shane Wright! Oh my goodness, Team Canada has won the Stanley Cup, baby! Oh my gosh, look at these guys. There's Ho-Sang and McBain, Johnson. Oh my goodness gracious. I think Landon Ferraro's still on the team. Pasquale. Oh my god. Levi's in net. Oh yeah, we got a lot of Team Canada still on here. That is huge. In the first minute, Team Canada wins the Stanley Cup. There's Mason McTavish. Holy molies. Oh, there's Landon Ferraro. Woo-wee! I can't believe that, man. I honestly had my doubts about this team. Like, our defense is not great. We've obviously replaced a few people now, all around, but like our third line was actually decent this year. Our fourth line was not very good. Corbin Knight was the captain, as he was like the last kind of best player that was remaining. I mean, we could have maybe switched to McTavish or something, but he was kind of like the veteran presence. Oh my gosh, I can't. Wowzers. Here we go, baby. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Ricci. Oh yeah, Wheel's still on the team. Oh my goodness. Kent Johnson, original Team Canada member, winning the Conn Smythe. Those are not his stats. That is completely incorrect. I tried to get as close to the jerseys as possible. It's kind of hard though, because they don't really have a Canadian logo, so that's okay. Well, yeah, most of the jerseys look pretty close. Here comes the Stanley Cup. Corbin Knight. We had like, I don't know, man. We didn't even have like that great of a team. This is like, a lot of the time, like, these scenarios are interesting because it's like the team like isn't even that great and we still won somehow. There we go. Corbin Knight with the Stanley Cup. Team Canada, Olympic men's team. 5 seasons in, wins the Stanley Cup. Again, we had to replace a few players with like draft picks and a couple free agents. We kept it all Canadian, and I honestly, we said it for 10 years. I was not sure if we would actually be able to do it, but that's crazy. We didn't really make any, like, we didn't make any trades. Yeah, again, I'm actually kind of speechless right now. So I'm super impressed that this team was able to pull it off. There's Landon Ferraro with the Stanley Cup. Oh my gosh. This is awesome. Yeah, I definitely had my doubts. Just because like some of the players weren't great, but like we had some initial prospects like Power and Johnson and McTavish who obviously developed a little bit and yeah, able to pull it off, which is crazy. Here he is, Levi. Let's go, baby. So he was the original 3rd string. He was a fringe starter. And now he's a cup champion. Holy moly. Wow, here we go. Here's the photo. Woo-wee. Let's go. Alright, so that game was actually insane. But here's the whole playoff tree. Here's our journey. So we won in 7 against the Blackhawks. Then we beat the Predators in 6, the Avs in 6, and then we won in 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here are the player stats for the playoffs. Kent Johnson led the team with 28 points. Shane Wright had 25. Mason McTavish had 22. Jack McBain had 21. Owen Power had 18. Corbin Knight had 16. Braden Yeager, who's one of our replacement players, had 16, one of our draft picks. Josh Ho-Sang had 13. Another replacement, Skylar Ritchie, had 8 points. Scuderi, another replacement, had 7. And interesting enough, because we finished it, it doesn't actually show us all of the stats, which is kind of strange. Yeah, it's super weird. Anyways. Goalie, Devin Levi, 15, 9, and 1 OTL, which is whatever. 1 shutout, 913, and a 295 goals against. Darash was the other guy in our team in the playoffs. He played 26 games, had 6 points. Maverick Lamoureux was another player on our team, his defenseman. He had 8 points. Tyler Witherspoon on defense had 1 point for us. Jordan Wheel had 8 points. Tambellini had 8 points. Morgan Ellis had 0 points but was a +1. Landon Ferraro had 4 points, was a +5 in the playoffs. And lastly, our replacement on the left wing there, who replaced Street, was Stuart Wyman, who we signed as a free agent. And he had 2 points and was a -2 for us. And then lastly, totally forgot, but Edward Pasquale actually came in for 2 games, had 1 win, and 10 saves on 10 shots. Here are the awards. So the 2025-26 Stanley Cup champions are your Canadian Olympic men's team. The Florida Panthers won that. Team awards, we played the Lightning, obviously. Draisaitl won the Art Ross. Maurice Richard went to Draisaitl. Ted Lindsay to Draisaitl. Suzuki got the Selke. Jack Adams went to Baudon. Bill Masterton went to Hamilton. Spencer Knight went to William M. Jennings and the Vezina. Kent Johnson went to Conn Smythe. Calder went to Lambert. And Ladybank to Draisaitl, and James Norris to Ekblad, and the Hart to Draisaitl. So we won 1 award, which was the Conn Smythe, and obviously the Stanley Cup was the big one. So that is going to do it for this video. This was actually a lot of fun. The Canadian Olympic men's team was mostly still the Canadian Olympic men's team. We obviously lost, I think, 7 or 8 or 9 players. There was obviously a few original extra players, so it kind of worked out. Where we didn't really have to dip into like our prospect pool at all, but obviously Shane Wright was a huge help, obviously, and then we got a couple other really good prospects because our first few seasons were real rough, but we turned it around and won the Stanley Cup, and that's all that matters. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, guys.